And it's the NewsAngl, bitch. Welcome back to another episode. This is your boy D.
And it's your girl, CJ.
And it's your soon-to-be new Vice President, Brandy.
Come on, Brandy.
Brandy Harris.
I run these hoes and I run this nation, okay? Let's
Shit.
clear.
Listen, we're not going to get into the elections too much because this podcast goes after election results, but let's talk about it for like one quick minute. Do you guys vote?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't.
I did. You did it?
I don't vote.
Are you public? Are you public about not voting, or are you one of those people who stay low key about it?
Girl, if I'm over here telling you that I don't vote on my podcast.
Oh no, when I say public, I always am referencing social media because sometimes.
Oh yeah, people know I don't vote. I believe I posted stuff about that shit too.
I was just gonna say some people look at it as if it's not on social media, it's not public.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense now. Yeah, like I don't know that I go out of my way to be like, oh, I don't vote because like I don't do all that.
Yeah, like I don't feel like you're one of those people, but
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, so if somebody asks me, like, I have no problem being like, no, I don't vote. Like, now Rob votes. He went and voted today, so that's his thing.
But why don't you vote?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter why
That pisses everybody off when I say that.
Got you. So with that being said, if I hear you complain,
I didn't make the choice.
I'm going.
I didn't make the choice. I don't. And then, here's the thing. I never complain about what politicians are in office because none of that affects me personally to an extent that changes my life that much.
Okay, and then that's cool. So then we got ourselves.
Yeah. So
we got some common ground.
I had people that were affected by it.
The only people that really affect me are local offices, and I'm just not in tune enough to vote about it. I'm not informed enough.
Right, and that's what I mean. Like when I'm talking about voting, I really had to spend time understanding and knowing local officials, and then making myself like actually go to town hall meetings and do things more locally because I care about the big election, and then also I'm like, well, we kind of need to pay attention to what's going on around us too, and I feel like a lot of people know that, but they're not. They're still
well, first of all, the education system failed us on how to get to that place locally. Like nobody ever talks about it in school. Every time they talk about elections, it's usually, even if they start at the bottom, they're talking about the Senate and Congress and things like that. And nothing below that. No local judges, all of that. So, and then on top of it, like I have not seen that much of a difference in my personal life, and I emphasize that my personal life, that it made that much of a difference either way. Because
but you do vote locally though.
I do not. I don't care.
You do not even locally?
Nope. Look at these faces. Look at your face.
Now I will say this: it's not in defense of her because she doesn't need my defense. I do agree to a certain extent. I am a believer of people gonna do what they want to do. The higher ups, the tinfoil hat shit people may make fun of. I believe a lot of that. But I know over the years, and I think when I first started voting, I started thinking about just not so much direct ancestors, but anybody of color that really did fight and stand. And
now, see, back in the day, I would have voted.
And I don't necessarily have to carry that. I know I choose to, but I'm like, even if I don't believe this made a difference, I'm at least going to do it because y'all did a lot, and obviously it does mean something to a certain extent, or else you would not put in place certain things to keep people from voting. So there's something to that to a certain extent. It may not mean that every single vote counts and all the rest of that.
Well, so I'm the opposite spectrum. That I feel like they put those fake obstacles in your roadway to make you think like you're making a difference, because honestly, all of this stuff that we've been voting on for decades, I'm not even talking like the last few years or the last 10, 15 years. We still don't have equal pay for women in the same sectors, in same positions. We still don't have like Black people going to work in whatever hairdo they feel like. We still, like, I could keep going. You know what I'm getting at, right? So what actual difference has it made in the last 60 years of us voting? Like, I just want to know.
Well, that's if people are actually voting. Because here's the thing: there are people saying they're voting that are not voting.
I'm sure there is.
Look at it.
Yeah, and they don't actually show up.
People are not at all. So it's kind of like I can't say how much of a difference it would make when it's not even, in my opinion, and I don't know all the numbers and stuff, but I don't have a significant amount. I could not say with confidence every election, local and nationally, 90% of Black people, male and female, come out. Now,
no,
if
it's not happening.
Type of numbers, that would be a different ball game, and then I can agree with what you're saying.
And now, and I'm not saying that there's no difference at all. I'm just like enveloping this as a general statement. I'm not talking like you in your place because of where you're at.
Even you mentioning something like the discrimination and people wearing their hair the way they want to.
Yeah, it's like nothing. Like in a macro picture, nothing has really changed. And on top of that,
because of social media. And I feel like it needs to be twofold. We still need to vote. We still need to be savvy about what's going on with our surroundings.
I would love that, like for people to be informed. But here's the truth bomb, though. A good amount of people who are voting for whether it's Biden or Trump are not voting because of the platforms they're standing on. They're voting for Trump because he has like I guess the morality of a white supremacist, basically. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are just opposing that by voting for Biden, or just saying that I don't want Trump anymore because this shit was shitty the last 4 years because he had like expressed. Now, when you get to that level and you say some shit like Trump's been saying, of course that's going to affect people, especially the people who were closeted about being racist and whatever. But that hasn't changed the fact that those people were already racist and they were already denying loans in the banks. When you went to see Catherine to get a house loan, she may not have told you that she was racist, but she was already thinking the way she's thinking. So it hadn't made a difference.
Right. But what I'm saying,
but in the same way, I'm saying that in the Senate, even if you vote locally and they win your shit, how many of those people actually stick to the shit that they talk about and make those changes that they promised you while they were campaigning?
But you'll never know if you never actually go forward.
But I feel like the numbers are slim to none, because people like, there's people like Dr. Carson, people like Nancy Owens that are out there who are vocally saying that they are in support of Trump and, you know, shit like that. But I feel like a lot of the government officials who are in that position got to that position because they played the whites games.
Okay, so I think the main thing that the perspective that you have is the main two parties. So I've been nonpartisan for a long time.
Right.
I support a particular party. I support, I'm not gonna name it, but I do support one particular party. And the fact that a lot of people are so afraid to vote outside of the main two juggernauts is because they're just trying to, it's all strategized.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I think this election, it's all based on that. But I think going forward, if you just voted for who you felt was the best candidate, we wouldn't have this problem.
But nobody votes like that. That's a utopian thing.
But
nobody votes like that, though.
If we pushed it and expressed like, yo, vote for who you felt was the best candidate. It don't necessarily go for who the media is pushing. Actually, look and see what each person wants for the greater good of the nation. I think we can change things to where it would be outside of a bipartisan system. If we can go into something where we have, even if it's three, if it's not just
even if it's there's a third person, the problem is that the media influence is real. There's no way around it. Nobody is as a matter of fact, instead of turning off or unsubscribing from Netflix or Hulu or anything, there are more streaming services being provided to people like Quibi, and more things are coming out than there is going away. So that means that media, social mass media, is going to have even more effect on people in the future.
Not necessarily.
It's going to be like Idiocracy, I'm telling you.
I can understand both sides, but the main issue here is when we decide, whatever the reason may be for, because I know everybody's reason is different. No matter what you're talking about standing up for, if you decide it does not matter, and on top of deciding it, there's a difference between saying it doesn't matter and then not doing anything else, right? And then you have people that say it doesn't matter and we're organizing something completely different.
Oh, that would be the second half.
It's a completely different movement. I feel like personally, we have too many people that are like, not only am I not voting because it doesn't matter, they're not doing anything else but being, social media, social justice warriors.
Yeah, that doesn't do you any good.
But there's nothing else going on. So I'm saying we don't know what's possible when we're not exhausting all options.
Exactly, we're not.
Well, so with that said, I feel like my doesn't matter people need to exist because we need that third party to show up. But until
so if they show up, would you be willing to vote for that person?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If that party shows up,
healthy,
I will fucking go vote. But until that party shows up, there's no point.
And so then your main issue is just the bipartisan system, which is my point. Like, never put it into your head to where.
Because even reading, for example, even reading the platforms on what Joe Jorgensen is going off of again, it's the same shit all over again from the last time that she went to go with. You know what I'm saying? Nothing has really changed.
I thought about this today. Across the board, people need to, and when I say people, I primarily mean people of color and women and just people that are not anybody who is not a white man.
Yeah, everybody else, come on.
Very vocal and keep that pressure, because honestly, anytime we've gotten anything done, even if it doesn't seem as significant, anytime we've gotten anything done or anything broken up, it has literally been because people are deciding to march, to die, to do whatever, and basically be fucking annoying about it until we get what we want.
Yeah, that's so really unless we have, if we have a V for Vendetta moment on the 5th of November, like, I'm just making, you know, have you guys seen that movie, V for Vendetta? Yeah. Okay, unless we have a moment like that coming up sometime when I am alive, the shit's not going to change. Because in that movie, I mean, I'm referencing, you know, fiction, but in that movie, when all parts of all levels of people got together and said, enough is enough, we don't want this shit no more. So in order for us to not have a two-party system, we have to get the majority to say enough is enough. We don't want a two-party system anymore.
And then I think that comes down to communication, because like you guys were just able to do, you got to a point where you understand where he's coming from. He understands where he's coming from. But there's this moment of, okay, you just saying flippantly, well, I don't vote, it doesn't matter. We need more than that, baby. And I'm not saying that from you. I'm just saying people that feel like I don't need to give you more. And technically you don't. But if we're supposed to come together,
I think what you said earlier, I said when you were like, you know, there's people who are like, I don't vote because it doesn't matter, and then nothing. And then there's me that's I don't vote. And then I still know what platforms Biden's on, Trump's on, George Jorgensen's on, my local people are, you know what I'm saying? It's not that I don't learn about it.
Somebody who is, as much as we make fun of it, of you knowing everything, you are more informed than the average American, and you know you are.
I probably am on all the parties.
Bitch, I didn't say probably, you are. Let's be clear.
Right.
Be real.
I'm trying to be humble.
We're being real and clear about this. You are more informed than a lot of people, and probably a lot of elected.
And I think that's what the problem is, because if they were informed, this would go in such a different way. People like me who are like, it don't matter because other people don't pay attention to everything, they would be more inclined to go vote because they know that people are informed.
Here's a time, talents, and treasure thing. You may not have the time, or lies, because I feel like you're Superwoman.
Oh no, absolutely not. I'm definitely not that.
I feel like you are. I feel like you're talented enough and you're knowledgeable enough. Even if you put out 10 or 15 minutes.
I'm good at everything, but I'm not super.
Yes. Even if she put out 10 or 15-minute tidbits a month about her political views, about her research and what she does, you could be planting seeds in multiple people's minds.
That's where I want to get to. I absolutely do.
And you're one of those people that could do that. And I know not everybody could do that, not just because we make fun of your voice, because it is easy to listen to. It's butter and I
titty sprinkles.
Okay.
DJ's titty sprinkles are way better than Morgan Freeman's.
But you know what you're talking about. You're objective, and just being able to have that extra opinion in there can help those people that just like to say, because I feel like a lot of people like to say, oh, I didn't vote, just because they feel like it's the same. I put that in the same category of the people that are like, I voted for Trump, because if some of those people just like to start shit, just want the confrontation.
Agreed.
There's nothing else behind it other than, yeah, I do what I want. It's that rebellious spirit.
Because in all honesty,
rebellious if you're not using that energy to change some shit.
If people actually watch the debate, like, how could you? How could you vote for either one? I mean, that's obviously clearly my opinion. It's my opinion. And the second time around, they try to hold it back. I know somebody probably went and talked to Trump about how debates work, so he understood a little better than the first time.
Honey, we had to add a mute button because y'all don't know how to act.
The fact that they added a mute button is
so embarrassing.
It's a classroom full of kids on Zoom with their teacher with that.
When I got Okie kids hitting me up asking me what the fuck is up with y'all people, I'm like,
y'all people.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
embarrassing.
And yeah, because we look like a dumbass to the rest of the world right now. Like,
well, it looks dumb because they're not. I know we think like this, so this isn't for us. But they're looking at it on such a surface level as, wow, this is who y'all decided was like.
Listen, no, because they
Right.
have commentators on the Japanese news channels that are liaisons to the US, and the comments that they are making are just embarrassing for the US. And it's not.
Oh yeah, but a lot of us are victims of how this system is set up to have the same white people run shit, and we're just not talking about politics. We're talking about across the board. So until people who are not white men get sick of seeing the same white men run companies, I
was just gonna say, until we start owning our own shit,
it comes down to like the ground up, and a lot of that is going to come from being persistent, being annoying, being pushy. We have to not let.
But see, here's the thing, like, and we're gonna take a break soon because we were supposed to touch on elections and we got into it, like we always do. But like, here's the thing, like, with our community and being in business for myself, and I'm sure Dan's come across it too. Like, the saddest part is that we don't give our own community and business owners the same leeway that we give others. And we expect so much from our own that if they mess up one time, they don't go back anymore. Like, if Target fucked up, you're still shopping at Target. So if your local fucking seamstress fucks up one of your dresses, why don't you give her a second chance?
Oh, and I'm going to take it for, well, I think you may have already said it, but taking it further, I feel like it is a very much a slavery mindset.
It is.
For a lot of people of color, because we couldn't mess up, or else that was your life, that's your family's life. There is no mess up. And we still have not, a lot of us still haven't broken away from that. So let the hairdresser be late. That's a wrap for her ass. But let, Sally and Maylene run late, but we won't extend.
It's not a big deal. Right. So in that respect, and also like on top of that, us not spending our own dollars within our own community. Like, now, don't get me wrong, I've seen beautiful things happen. Like that one place I was talking about, the DFW food networking site that Facebook lady started, and within 2 weeks they had over 100,000 people join, and right now we're almost hitting 1 million. Don't get me wrong, like I pop my shit up on there and people have hit me up to support. Like, and I love cool. That
like,
shit.
Even like with Postmates here, I'm not sure if they do it in your area. Are Postmates here?
Oh yeah, you can check for Black-owned businesses, even on Uber.
Right.
And a lot of people are on that now. Like, shout out to Dorinda who listens. She'll post anytime. She's like, I'm doing my part. So whether it's her buying soap,
and
or going somewhere, or when I travel out of town, I'll purposely try to, eat at a Black-owned restaurant, shop at trying to support. I know we're allies for real. So we're trying to put that
back. Like when all of this is going down, like even, I told you about Rob. Rob already went on that DFW list and started naming stuff that we want to try and go and support. Like, it's so important, because if you put the money back into our own community, then we can have, you've seen Chinatown, you've seen Koreatown. That shit happens because their own people put money back into their small shops and they start building. We just came back from Viettown today. You know what I'm saying? That place is lit up like fucking Vegas Strip. I kid you not.
We haven't even recovered from Tulsa in the 20s.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We haven't even recovered from that.
Work to do, and I think the three of us can agree, although some listeners may not. I feel like we have deeper work and healing to do that has everything to do with spirituality first.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're dealing with generational curses, we're dealing with trauma in our DNA, and there's a lot of that needs to happen before we can come together again in that same way and have it go forward. Because I am more than sure it is. I could not imagine having utopia like what was experienced in Tulsa and other places here in the U.S. and having it taken away from you.
And then you start to wonder where all those Black massacres happen. Like, so I know you posted a map of that after we talked about it.
I think I put it on our page, those who are listening.
Yeah, so one of those places was Colfax, Louisiana. That's where my dad was born and raised. He left when he was 16 by lying to the military to get into the military and stuff. But the thing is, if you go back there now, it ain't shit. There's nothing there. They burnt it down. They massacred people. They probably had something going for them because, there was Black newspaper stands and things like that. They got rid of it all. There's nothing there. People don't come to that city anymore. So that's what they do when they see us prospering, and they've been doing it for ages.
Burn it down or crash. When I found out they crashed planes.
Yeah.
in two buildings in Tulsa. I was like, what? Why haven't I been talking?
And they're rehashing that place right now and finding more bodies. So there's another thing. Okay, well, we'll take a break.
They are.
What?
I said they are. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, they are. It's crazy. But we'll be right back. We're gonna take a quick break.
We'll be right back.
You won't stop.
Right now,
oh my God. Recording it.
That's some little shit. First off, what you need to do.
He ain't even listening.
4, 5, go. No. 5, 4, 3, 2.
You finna listen to me. You finna listen.
Shit.
Yes, we're back.
I guess we back. Shit.
These motherfuckers.
Talking about all this damn asbestos in her eyes.
They got a whole cardboard in her eyes.
Not a whole
cardboard. Me upside my
cardboard.
face trying to figure
I had
out
like
why she can't
fiber, like those clothing fibers that you can't see, but you can feel in your eyes.
Don't be nice now.
Oh,
yeah. Damn. Anywho, let's talk about something else real quick. The Richards Group in Dallas, Texas, the owner, that's a big ass marketing agency that reaches their hands across the United States and everywhere else. Their owner sat in on a Motel 6 advertising meeting, and when somebody showcased the ad that they were going to use for Motel 6, this nigga said it's too black, and that shit got leaked so fast, so furiously that 40% of their clientele pulled the fuck out already, and probably more at this point. I haven't checked back. But they're gonna have to downsize. Like, they're trying to do some damage control, but it has been done. Like, I was like, in this environment, you say shit like that. That's how you know you old and white and supremacist, because you did not even think to not let that roll off your tongue that easily. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
boy. Yeah, they done failed on that shit. Like, for real though. So there are hundreds of people who are about to be let go. Shut up with that light and the Mickey Mouse Disney Kids fucking channel shit. I can't handle you guys anymore.
Oh my God, that's way too funny.
Oh my God. At a certain point, I just want to smack up. Oh my God. I'm going to do a soul test on you two together and see how that works.
Non-existent.
It's going to be a super No, seriously though. So now I have a friend that works in another marketing agency. She apparently used this article because she sits on a board for diversity. She's Black, obviously, and she's one of the women there too. So 2 times, that's only 3% in the whole advertising environment that exists. So she's already a minority. On top of that, she's a woman. So there's that. She said she used that article and they pretty much didn't listen to what she had to say. So yeah, I know. We can see more of this happening in the near future, I feel like, because the older execs who had their way, now the younger ones that are more lefty and left-winged and more morally compassed to right are probably going to leak all this information, and they're taking down giants that used to stand. I hope it happens.
I feel like the only way some stuff is going to stand is when you have like daddy's old money and he gives it to the son who gives it to that. Literally pass that type of behavior and money and power down generationally. But when we can break that generational shit up and it's not that, they're gonna be telling, period.
Yeah, so I guess the quick fix was that the founder of Richards Group marketing agency, he tried to go on Dallas Morning News and say that he just meant that he didn't want it to upset. He basically said that he didn't want to upset his KKK and white supremacist constituents that were paying money to be part of that company. You know what I'm saying?
You're essentially saying the same shit.
Right. So he kind of made it worse, actually. And everybody just started pulling out to the point where they had to take down all the companies they were allied with so that other ad agencies wouldn't go after them, knowing that they're shutting down. They're probably going to shut down. In this environment, bitch, ain't nobody coming after you. I mean, although the people who didn't leave were our regular fucking giants like Hobby Lobby, known to be racist, people like that have not yet said they're severing ties. So they might be hanging on by the skin of their neck. Like, it's going to be. I don't know.
We're in a society now where, they may make fun of people being like more sensitive and what have you. But when we're applying pressure to the things that really matter. Some shit's being done out of fear of just your almighty dollar being taken away. That's what it comes down to.
Basically.
Side of the whole, hey, guess what? We ain't spending money here, or that's a wrap, or they're canceled, whatever people want to say.
Oh my God, that's so dumb.
So question, do you think that's a bad thing? Because I think that sets a precedent.
Oh yeah, I don't
Especially
feel
for the
like
people that
No,
are
it's a
coming
great
in.
thing. I'm in love with that. That's
You know?
exactly what I mean by people taking a stand and knowing that this shit needs to go down and needs to be stopped.
And even if they're taking a stand just based off of fear, what it's doing is setting a precedent off of the people that you employ, the younger generation that actually is following your movement, you know, and the steps that you're taking to better things. I think it sets a precedent for them to where, okay, if the company that I work for is willing to stand up and say something, I can stand up and say something. Because, you know, young people, you know, that's usually the mindset behind it. You know,
oh yeah, because if they're fresh out of school and shit, that's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do.
Next thing before we go is Kanye and his dumbass hologram birthday gift to Kim. So what's the detail? Because I didn't read it yet at all. Because you know I don't do pop culture like that.
A little pitter patter of a video. From what I saw was that
was it legit? Was the hologram legit?
It was semi-legit, like to the point to where if that was my father, because I'm looking at it as like, okay, I'm watching this guy on TV and now he's on TV again. He's dead. But if that's my father, that would fuck me up. Like this dude is like talking. Okay, I understand the thought process behind it. I can see how he might have thought it would be a great gift.
Yeah.
You know,
how did Kim take it? Did anybody say?
I don't know how. I heard that she liked it because she shared it. That doesn't necessarily mean she liked it. I don't know if she did it for publicity's sake, but I do know that Kanye talked about himself on there. Right. And he's controlling the voice.
So wait, he talked about himself through her father's...
you married the best person, or whatever the fuck he said. He
created the speech for her father to say and refer to himself as a genius. So
yes. So I don't know if it was maybe an inside joke between him and Kim.
He calls himself a genius all the time, so that's not
I don't know how he is as a person.
I guess
so.
Like,
who knows? That's up in the air.
Like because you know my dad has already passed. So if I were to get a hologram, as long as it was like legit things my dad would say that somebody can put together, I think it would be dope. But if it's like some nigga behind it, like if it's talking about how dope he is,
the Wizard of Oz, nigga, like this is literally what it is.
Yeah, so then that would be a problem because if I was Kim, I would not appreciate that. Like if I was Kim, I would want things my dad would probably say to me instead of shit that Kanye wants her to believe. You know what I mean?
Would it bother you if someone did that for you as a gift? Like,
no, not at all.
It wouldn't? I think it would creep me out. That's just me personally.
I think it's just because it's somebody I know, right? I've known, and I know that it's a hologram. Like, I think it would definitely invoke emotion. So you can bet your ass I'll be balling. You know what I'm saying?
I think that would be the problem for me. I wouldn't want to do that.
Oh, see, I'm okay with that. I'm good with
as long as the person's okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that. And I think that, and like you said, then a lot of people might find it really creepy. I don't know.
Like it would rub me the wrong way. But at the same time, do you think it would hit different if because Kanye never met him?
Oh, see that.
So say if it was someone that never met your dad, would you feel different?
So let's say Rob did that because he's never met my dad. But if he went out of his way, if he went out of his way to ask my brother or my mom, like what would be the things that like Joe would say to Joanna, like, you know what I'm saying, like
the who?
That's different,
right? That's what I'm saying. To who? Like,
Joanna.
I'm still gonna have you do that when Dan comes on, and so he can laugh about it, like because he'll be like, "What the fuck?" But last things last, we have 1 exact minute, so real quick, earwax for stress. Scientists have figured out a way to determine how stressed you are and how depressed you may be through your earwax and what kind of earwax you have. That slow drop down is always so funny. Sorry, D's fucking camera fell. But
it fell in slow motion.
Yeah, it did. It was really weird.
It was even over it.
I know, right? But seriously, like that's a weird thing. I just randomly read about it. So now,
if the more earwax, the more depressed you are?
I think there is different kinds. And I read a long time ago in an article that if you're prone to BO, your earwax tends to be stickier.
Prone to be what?
Stickier.
If you're what?
Prone to BO. Like if you're not.
Oh,
yeah.
BO.
Yeah, and the drier your earwax is, the less like natural BO you have. Like
mine is legit like wax. Like it's like candle wax almost.
So that means that you would be one of those people who couldn't skip a day of showering.
And I definitely cannot, because I smell myself sometimes and I'm like, oh fuck.
Like halfway through the day when you work too hard.
Keep a stick of deodorant in the car. I'm like fuck.
Luckily, no, I get it.
I work in a hotel, so at the desk we always have deodorant for people who ask. So sometimes I walk into work and I'm like, fuck, I'll be right back.
And get one of those mini deodorants.
And I snatch them and I run to the bathroom and I'm like, had to take care of a situation.
That a situation.
Well, we're good now.
Oh my God.
And it's all good.
Well, that's all I got today. We got to wrap this up so we can go on with our lives tonight. It's our guest on our last show was really awesome, so we took a little longer there. So if you want to check it out, last week's Triangl episode showcases Monty Scott, the stand-up comedian from Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska. So you should check those out. Yep. But anyway, if you've enjoyed our podcast thus far, make sure you subscribe to your favorite podcast platform. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like and comment and hit that notification bell. And, yes, and then check us out on other stuff too, the Sex Angle and our regular Triangl. So if we don't got anything else, stay blessed, stay safe, woke and logical and all that good stuff. Stay black if you're black. If you're not, support the POCs and allies unite. We'll catch you guys next week. Bye.